Welcome guys, we have a 2010 or 11 VE Commodore V6. This one has issue with the fuel gauge. Basically, according to the customer, they put full tank of fuel, but the fuel gauge is not reading right. Maybe it's not showing full, or whatever the case, it's not reading right according to the amount of fuel in the tank. So we're gonna just diagnose this car today, guys. All right, first thing, let's just put a scan tool in it. We go to diagnose our Holden 2000 and let's go 10. It's a VE Commodore V6 and automatic transmission. Let's see if we can diagnose this car. Let's just scan the faults. To be honest, I'm not too concerned about everything here, but let's scan it anyway. Right now the fuel gauge is at empty. I got the ignition on. I don't know how much fuel is in the tank. While it's scanning the module, let me quickly put the camera on the fuel gauge so you guys can see what's going on the fuel gauge. You can see the fuel gauge is sitting at empty. I don't know how much fuel is in it, so we're just gonna diagnose this car now. Alright guys, so on the scan tool, let's see if we got any fault codes. Okay, I'm just gonna have to use one hand operation here, guys. Alright, I'll just keep my camera right there on the fuel gauge. So first thing which I didn't like is, see, when I take the key off, yeah, and go back in and try to turn the key back on, see how that drops all the way down, like way down below empty mark, and it goes and sits just below the empty. I don't like that for some reason. I don't know if that's right or not, but anyway, let's move on. Now let's see on the scan tool what kind of fault codes we have. So we have fault codes on the engine computer, and we got some fault codes on the radio. Engine position, system performance, add something to diagnose for some other day, but today all I'm focusing on in my instrumental cluster. So let's go instrumental cluster, and then we just, there's no fault code, so we're gonna go live data, and we're gonna go maybe instrument, and then all I'm interested is the fuel level. Remaining fuel level right there. It says remaining fuel 47 liter. That does not look like 47 liter on the fuel gauge though, does it? It's sitting around empty. So let's just go back and try a few other datas here. Maybe there. It's not gonna be on the telltale, I believe. Remaining fuel, it says 35 liter here. There's two different readings for some reason. There's 35 liter remaining fuel, but if you go back to there, it's got 47 or so for some reason. Remaining fuel 47. Don't know why, but definitely doesn't look right. Both numbers are different. 35 and 47. 35 liter. Anyway, so the computer, the instrumental cluster module, IPC instrumental panel cluster computer is reading 36 liter right now from the tank, but on the gauge we don't have 36 liter, it's empty. Now customer did say the gauge do go up if you fill it up and all that, but it's not accurate, to be honest. They said if you put full, it doesn't show you full. That's what the problem is, okay? And we can see that on the scan tool, it's at 36 liter with assume there's some fuel in the tank. So what I'm trying to say is I don't think this is the problem in the fuel tank, okay guys? I think the problem is in the instrumental cluster, because the fuel level sensor or the fuel reader in the tank is sending information to the instrumental cluster computer, which we're seeing 36, but the instrumental cluster should be commanding the gauge to show 36 liter, but something going on in the instrumental cluster. So if I was to stop my diagnosis right here, I would tell the customer you need to change the instrumental cluster. Simple as that. But I want to take it further, see if we can figure this out. So no point going into the fuel tank and checking the fuel gauge and anything like that. Okay guys, we can see on the live data it is doing something. Now let's go to maybe active test, and I don't know where. No, can't be self-test. Turn signal, telltale displayed, eliminate. Maybe on the control test. Let's see if you get any fuel gauge. There you go. There's a fuel gauge there. We can do activation there and see we can activate this fuel gauge. So it's already dropped to like way below nowhere there for some reason, right? That doesn't look right, like I said in the beginning. So I'm gonna hit the increase on the fuel level. See, it increases to empty. Now hit the increase again, goes to half, hit the and that's it. On the scan tool I don't have any more increase, and if you decrease, goes back to empty and goes back down, okay, for some reason. All right, so instead of having a base point to empty on the gauge, looks like it's way down. It's like yeah, it's far away. It's instead of empty, it's sitting way below. So that's why what usually should happen in a lot of cars that I've seen and done this is usually the gauge will stay around empty, and when you do this kind of activation test, if you increase, goes to half. If you increase, goes to full. So you know, it will show you half increment at a time, but it is doing it. So we know the computer is controlling, can control this gauge, and we know computer is reading right amount of fuel from the tank. I believe it's doing something, it's reading something, right? But the gauge is not operating according to what the computer wants to see. So what I'm thinking is this needle is for some reason not calibrated. It's in a different wrong position or different position. I don't know the history, what happened to this car, or if anyone done something to the instrumental cluster, but looks like that's the case. All right, all I'm gonna do quickly is take this off. There's a couple of tabs on this plastic. So take this plastic off the front. And now, all right guys, what I've done here is I just took the front glass of the instrumental cluster, which is pretty easy, and I just put the wiring harness at the back, connect the thing in the car. Now it's live. Now turn the key on, obviously, so that's where it is right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my same live data again, and then I'm gonna do this control test again and fuel gauge, and see how on the fuel gauge there's two increments. So when you press increase once, it goes half, and then when you press again, it goes full. So there's two half tank and full tank activation test on the scan tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit increase, which should take us to half tank, but on the gauge you can see it's going up to empty from way below empty, right? Let's try again. Let's go back and see. See that drops. So that's the starting point at the moment. So now I'm going to hit increase where it goes to empty, but where it's supposed to be half a tank. So what I'm going to do while the activation test is still on, commanding half a tank, I'm going to just move this needle up gently without breaking it, obviously, manually to half a tank. Okay, somewhere there should be pretty well half a tank. Right now I'm going to hit increase again, and it should go to full tank. See how it goes to full tank now? Let's come down on activation, half a tank. Let's decrease it to empty. So that's where it should be. Right now, let's go back and turn the car off and turn the car back on. See, it's reading almost half a tank now. And on the scan tool, if we go back on live data, and remaining fuel is 36 liter, and that's almost half a tank. This fuel tank is what I would say maybe about 70 liter tank, which makes sense. 36 is a half a tank. So if we're doing everything right here, it should be, that's how it should be, and that's where you're gonna stay once you manually move the needle up there. Okay, let's go back to activation test again, and we'll just prove our point there too. So basically, see, as soon as I go to activation test, the guys drop to empty. Now we can increase. It should go to half a tank. That's what we're seeing. Now it goes hit increase again, and it goes to full tank, almost full tank, right? So, and go back down, half a tank, go back down, empty. It should be. All right, that's where it should be. And as soon as we get out of the activation test, this should go back to its normal normal reading. Okay, turn the key off and back on. See, it goes back to half a tank. So that's how you, one way to fix a wrong fuel gauge on a lot of cars. I've done this in the past on different cars, 2 different models, not just Commodore. So one thing you can try it whenever you have a fuel gauge reading incorrect issue. Hope this will help you guys out. I'm just gonna wrap this video and put this back together, and that should be it. Thank you guys.